Hey everyone, it's Kai from Kool Collectibles back again for another review. This time it's the Hot Toys MMS313 Boba Fett Deluxe version. And as you can see, the Deluxe version does come with this Sarlacc pit diorama stand, which I'll get to in a second. Now overall, it is a pretty good figure, but I'm not sure it's that much of an upgrade over the previous Sideshow one, to be honest. And I will grab that one in a second to do a comparison. Overall, the underlying body of the Hot Toys is probably better, but there are a few things that I don't like about the particular figure. But on to the box art. I'll just get this thing out the way. So the box art, as per all the other Hot Toys figures, they do have the front cover, which is the standard sort of black and grey. And I do love the artwork on the cardboard insert. They always do a pretty good photoshopping job of that. So I'll just grab that out the way. The accessories, it does come with quite a few accessories, as you can see here. So if you get the deluxe set, which I'll go through now, I guess, it comes with the flaming things that you can add to the backpack. So the backpack here, these little jet bits are rotatable. So you pretty much just plug that in there. I think you can probably heat them up a little bit to squeeze them in there a bit more. But for me, I think that probably looks a bit more toyish than I would prefer for a 1/6 scale display. So I'm not going to bother using those at all. Now this diorama stand, overall it's not too bad. Get a bit of detail in there like so. These are sort of soft rubbery type materials with the sharp points. Now all of these tentacles come as separate pieces where you just screw them into the base, similar to the diorama sort of dynamic stand background there, this black pole, so that's on a thick wire as well. So all of these are on thick wires that you can sort of bend around and so on. The paint application is pretty good on the sort of sand and rock and so on. I do hate the beak, to be honest. That was something they introduced in the special editions, etc. Instead of just the big hole with the, I think you could see these sort of teeth and so on. I much preferred that look. To me, that always reminded me of, can't remember its name anymore, the plant from Little Shop of Horrors. So I don't particularly like that look. And these tentacles, I don't know, ever since I saw those Japanese hentai type cartoons and so on from high school days, you know, with the what do they call, Legend of the Overfiend, etc., where these are attacking you know, Japanese girls and so on. That's all that I sort of see when I see these tentacles, and so it's unlikely that I'm going to be using this display piece. I guess for value for money, this deluxe version is probably only about $30 or $40 more than the regular set. So overall, if you do have the space and don't mind putting Boba up on this stand, then it might be worthwhile doing it. So you pretty much just attach this to the top there, and then you can put this around his waist. There is a bit of padding in there, so you can just put that around his waist or something like that to hold him up, and there is that back support right here. So overall, it's not too bad. The costume probably won't get damaged too much from this one, unlike Superman and a few others. So I guess it could be a fairly decent display option. I might try it out just to see how it looks, but it's unlikely I'll end up using it. So that's pretty much what you get for the deluxe version. The regular version includes all of these things here. The backpack, the detailing is pretty damn awesome. I love all the scratches and weathering effects there. I would love to know how they actually do that, because it's pretty consistent across the board, so it's not someone there, you know, deliberately scratching them in the factory. It's some sort of patterning mechanism or paint mechanism that they do. So the scorch marks and so on, it's all very nicely done. And I guess with this particular colorway, it's probably a bit more realistic, I guess, than the Sideshow Boba Fett version from Empire Strikes Back. I guess that was fairly accurate in that it's a very sort of greenish color, but there wasn't too much weathering or anything like that on that one. And you see these clips here, and I'll show that in a second. It does clip onto the back via a couple of hooks. It is a bit painful to do, so I'll probably do that off camera and just give you guys a look. So there's that. Comes with an assortment of hands. Now I guess these hands don't really impress me all that much. It's probably on par with some of the Sideshow Hoth figures, to be honest. It doesn't. The molding and the detailing is not as good as I was hoping. Now whether or not that's movie accurate, I guess is another thing. But they do look a little bit flat and lack of detail, to be honest. But overall, they do serve the purpose. You know, you've got the gun holding hand, the hand where you can hold the bottom of his blaster, etc. So caters for all of that. Also comes with his shin tool things. I'm sure there are specific names for these things, but I can't remember them. So I think the instruction book tells you which pockets to put them in, and the Sideshow ones have something similar to that. So you can use that just to complete the look. A couple of spare hand pegs. Comes with his blaster, which is fairly nicely done. I was actually expecting a bit more sort of variation in the colours, to be honest. Now the wood bit here is a little bit darker than I remember. Now the Sideshow one has more of a sort of brownish wooden look, but this one's not too bad, and the detailing and the moulding is always up to the Hot Toy standards. So I love the detailing, and the silver paint app to give it that metallic look is pretty damn nice. So that's his blaster. Now the belt does come attached to him, but I've taken it off because I was a little bit disturbed by something that I was seeing, but I'll get to that in a second. But everything is sort of movable on there, so you can sort of move them along and adjust it to be centered if you want, and it just wraps around his back and applied by this Velcro, but there is a nice bit of sort of stitching and string there to give it a nice look there, so that's not too bad. These pouches are nicely sort of weathered as well, so nice dirt wash on those. You can't open them, they're stitched together, but and I'm not sure, there's a little bit of padding in there, but not much to give it a bit of weight. But overall, once you put them on like that, it does look pretty good, and the pouches with their fake leather stitching and look do look pretty nice. So that's one of his belts anyway. And of course he comes with the figure stand that's got the nice weathering and scratches and so on, and the silver plaque. So that's pretty much standard for these Hot Toy Star Wars figures. But I'll get on to this figure. Alright, before I get too far into the figure, I thought I'd do the quick comparison with the Sideshow version now. I mean, as you can see, it's very, very similar, as you would expect, I guess. Probably the key differences for me, I can't actually see too much difference in the helmets, to be honest. I don't think they're the exact same mold, but the Sideshow one here, as you can see, you know, the sort of level of weathering and so on isn't to the same degree as the Hot Toys here. I guess the biggest difference would be the chest plates. The Sideshow version here, there's this sort of hard plastic backing to a lot of that, and it gives it that sort of very flat look across his chest, whereas on the Hot Toys version here it's a bit more rounded and natural looking. Now I guess with the Sideshow version, I actually like it that the plates are, because they've got the holes and the glue on through the plastic there, for the most part they're actually quite symmetrical. For the Hot Toys version, it's almost like they've gone down to the Sideshow Jango Fett sort of quality, where I don't know why they can't just glue these damn things symmetrically. I mean, across the top there, it doesn't look too bad, but then you get this plate down the front here where it just sort of overlaps a little bit over here, and apparently you can futz around with it by moving the suit underneath, but I don't know, that was the first thing that drew my attention when I took it out. And that was one of the things that I hated about the Jango, where the chest pieces just didn't line up. It's not so bad on this Boba Fett, but something that I guess in this price range I would have expected more from Hot Toys. Various other differences, I guess the gauntlets, of course, are accurate to their movies, where Sideshow is that green, whereas the Hot Toys is the purple from Return of the Jedi. And I guess the Sideshow doesn't have all that much weathering, to be honest, that you can see there. The paint application is not up to the Hot Toy standard, but overall not too bad. The blaster itself, I actually think the Empire Strikes Back blaster here from Sideshow actually looks pretty nice. It's got variation in some of the paint application detail, and you can get a hint of that brown sort of wood look of the hilt. And I guess the other thing that the Sideshow version does have is the additional blaster at the back here. So I do like that it's included that. Now I don't know if he was meant to have that in Return of the Jedi and they just didn't include it, but it's good that the Sideshow version does have that. And as you can see, the backpack there is very sort of flat and green. The weathering sort of scorch mark there is pretty, what do they call it? Juvenile? I can't remember what the term, amateur, compared to the Hot Toys sort of really sort of nicely weathered look. But overall, it's not too bad. And you get that. I'm not sure if this is removable in the Sideshow version. I'm not going to try doing that. But again, similar to the Hot Toys, it connects via a couple of hooks and straps at the back there. So apart from that, the Wookiee braids, I guess apart from the chest pieces, the Wookiee braids are another thing that I don't particularly like on the Hot Toys. I don't know, when I looked at them, they're so shiny and clean that it just reminded me of the Goldilocks and the three bears for some reason. Particularly this one, it just looks like someone's braided Goldilocks hair. The Sideshow versions here are more sort of string-like, and I mean there's not much of a weathering effect, but they don't give off that sort of brand new shiny look to them. So again, I actually prefer the Sideshow version, to be honest. I guess one area that the Hot Toys version is definitely better is the underlying body. I always had issues in bending the knees for my Sideshow Boba. They just felt so damn tight that I almost felt like I was going to snap them. But the true type body under the Hot Toys version here has all the usual articulation with the double jointed elbows, knees, rotation and stuff on the torso. So definitely the underlying body is better. The suit itself, I actually read previously that the suit on Boba was a little too clean, but in person, I don't know if it's just mine or what, but it actually has a very nice dirt wash, I think. It's probably not coming out on the camera view here, but the dirt wash is definitely not a clean look. It does look quite dirty in hand. The only bit that is probably a bit too clean is this whole sort of parachute material underneath the armor pieces there, but the actual sort of khaki type material of the rest of the suit is actually quite a nice dirt wash on that. The Sideshow version has a pretty good weathering as well, and dirt, as you can see there, around the pockets and so on. So again, it does look pretty good. But everything else is pretty similar. The cape has the wire, that cape has a wire, the viewfinder. So overall, I mean, even the gloves, if you look at the gloves here, they look like the sort of rounded, lack of detail gloves on the Return of the Jedi version. So maybe that is just the way he was in the movie. But overall, for me, if you have the Sideshow Boba and don't really care if it's from Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi, I don't really see too much of a reason to upgrade, particularly if you know how to futz and move around the figure to get it looking very natural. So they did release a reissue of this with, I think I heard that there were some improvements to the body or something. So if you've either got the original one with the light up base, which I've got over here, so this was the original light up base for the bounty hunters. So if you have that version with this, overall I think you've got a pretty good Boba Fett figure anyway. So but I guess if you're wanting to keep with the Hot Toys line and you're getting all the rest of them, then I guess this version here is the one to get. But overall, not too much of a difference between the two. But I'll go back through the Hot Toys Boba again. Hold on. Alright, so the helmet I was saying before, this viewfinder does roll down, so it's got that nice look. I don't think I've ever seen anyone display their Boba Fett like that, to be honest, but I guess the option's always there. And as you can see, the weathering and scratches and marks and so on are very, very nicely done. As you can see back here now, you've got these little hooks and straps that so you pretty much try and get these little clips here through the loop in the loop there, and it clips on. Now I think there is a magnet back here as well. You can sort of feel it as you put it there down the bottom, so there's magnets in either underneath there somewhere or in there, so that once you get it on, at least it'll sort of stay in place and not start flipping out like that. So overall, that's not too bad. This whole sort of torso chest armor just goes across the top and his neck area there. I don't think there's anything else connecting it, so it just sort of lifts away like that. And once you get that out of the way, you can sort of see the detailing in the belts. Now I guess this points to one area that I didn't particularly like, and it is movie accurate. So you see the straps here for these two purple belts, and they are stitched together at the front here. So they come around, they're stitched together here, and I think they're also stitched together on the side. But they do tend to sort of split apart, like there's gaps between each of the seams and so on. So you just need to sort of futz around and make sure they're not all sort of splaying out all over the place. But if you can see, there's a bit of a bulge at the front here that makes him look like he's 3 months pregnant or something. Now, as soon as I open it, there's a belt buckle that you can see just in there, and that belt buckle is connected through there. I think you can just make out the silver bit at the back there. So there's a belt inside there, and I'm not sure. I mean, I couldn't figure out why that was needed. It's not, holding up his pants or doing anything else, but apparently it's movie accurate to the costume they used in the movies. So they had a belt underneath. I'm not sure. I think someone explained to me why, but I can't remember. But either way, it's movie accurate, so Hot Toys included it, and included these two, and then you pretty much put this belt around. So the pouches at the front here go around the front of this purple stuff, but because there's the huge belt buckle at the bottom there, it just bulges out a bit too much. I have heard that some people have taken that underbelt off. I'm not sure how that's done without having to take off everything else, which seems overly painful for me. So I'll probably try and adjust it somehow so it's not right up the front or something like that. Because all of these straps do look very delicate. They're similar to the Sideshow one where they have all these straps and so on. So it is a nice bit of detailing, but for me it would have been much easier if they just used Velcro, to be honest. I mean, this one here, they use Velcro at the back, and I think it's much more user-friendly, to be honest. The detailing at the back here is nice, but no one's going to see it in my opinion, so most people will be seeing it like that. So overall, that's probably my other nit to pick with this particular figure. The hip armor here is pretty good. You can sort of futz around with that. It just goes with a strap under his crotch there and over to the front. So again, the detailing in that crotch piece is pretty nice. All the shoulder armor pieces there just glued on there, so I'd be a bit careful on adjusting those pieces. But again, they're nicely painted, and there's the Mandalorian symbol there, which is nicely tamped on. The cape, nicely tattered and weathered, so you get a hole there, and you get all the sort of fraying at the bottom there. So overall, and there is that wire that you can use to just pose it how you see fit. So that's a nice bit of detail. The gauntlets, these purple gauntlets are nice, and there's not too tight or anything like that, and the suit underneath doesn't seem to bunch up too much in there, so that'll probably help as you swap over the hands. Just be careful of these little wires here that run up under his sleeve here. They are pretty delicate. They are flexible, but I wouldn't want to sort of risk, as you're bending the elbow and so on, just be careful where the gauntlet sits so you don't bend this too much and snap that off. or these ones here. So just futz around with it before you bend that elbow, and you should be okay. But the weathering and detail is pretty damn nice. And then the flamethrower one on this side, again, looks pretty damn good too. So the undersuit is just this sort of khaki material I was saying before. The articulation, this one is actually pretty good. No, the suit doesn't really affect the articulation at all. He does get a wide range of motion with the legs and so on. Mine is a little bit tight, but you can get it bended quite a way up to try and get it on that Sarlacc pit diorama. So I would just move this crotch piece around and just be careful not to snap that strap off, but he does have a pretty good range of motion, and the knees as well can bend quite a way. There's double jointed knees and elbows. These you can sort of move around, these knee pads, but again, just be careful of that strap on the back there. And all of these things at the bottom here, they're on by Velcro, so you can pull the suit down and futz around with that little piece of cloth there. So again, all nicely done. The boots, fairly nicely molded. There's not too much range of motion, to be honest. They are on a board joint, so you can sort of get the hinge up and down. There is a bit of ankle rocking, which is pretty good. So it does have a bit of play there, but just be careful as you move it not to snap anything off. But other than that, it's pretty good with the shoes. I do like the little tips there as well, which the Sideshow version did have. Torso, it does have a good range of motion in the torso. Just be careful as you move these armor pieces around. I mean, as I was saying before, you might be able to tweak the armor pieces by moving the undersuit, but I can't seem to tweak it too much, to be honest. And just be careful of that sort of pot belly gap there. So just maybe just futz around and move around like so. But other than that, that's pretty much it. I wouldn't say this is a knockout of the park for me anyway. Maybe I'm spoilt with having the old Sideshow Boba Fett as well. But yeah, with these chest pieces and a few of the nitpicks, I think Hot Toys could have done a better job. But it's still a pretty good figure to have. And if you're in the Star Wars line, you're definitely going to pick this up regardless. So overall, not too bad. I'm just going to put this down before it falls all over the place. So hopefully you like that quick look at the Boba Fett figure from Hot Toys. Hopefully you can click that subscribe button. I've got some Masterpiece Transformers coming up, and also the Bandai Tamashii Nations Royal Guard. So hopefully you can stick around for that. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers. Bye.